What's up, guys? Welcome to the crew. Obviously, I'm hosting tonight because Earth's not on and tonight, neither is Payne. We've got Chris and Medusa that you both know, and then we've got Wayne Warden. If you want to introduce yourself.
Howdy, y'all.
I'm Warden 72.
Right, we're going to be tonight. Obviously, we're talking about the Forsaken Arena and the new Aegis tree, and also we will think about the changes made to the arena, the way it works. So I'll throw it over to the panel, see what they think about the changes.
I don't know, man. I really don't like the fact that they took away or they added a coining factor to it at this point. You know, the arena tournament used to be the one thing that we could all do as a community for free all weekend if we had the uranium to do it. And now, since they took away the uranium repairs, well, you know, the insurance and whatnot, that you'd get some of your uranium back, and then they added that you get double points for essentially coining your fleets. That I just I kind of can't get behind, you know. To sit there and say, yeah, you get double points for spending money is kind of against a lot of what a lot of Kickside people have said in the past, you know. But that's my thought on it. I'm still doing it like everybody else. I still want to get the couple of the hulls, but
yeah, same. I'm just sort of just doing it slowly, using the uranium. I'm not coining, not for the arena.
yeah, the good thing they did though is let us have dredges, so you can just keep refilling your uranium. But again, they're promoting more coining because you got to use fleets to go hit dredges that you might be using in the arena. So either way, they've added more coining this weekend. I guess they just looked at the stats and realized they didn't make any money on this one weekend a month, so they had to change that, and they definitely figured that out.
And you nailed it on their head there, Chris. They've worked it out. They aren't making as much money off it, and how can we make money off it? And the changes are basically no problems for coiners because they can get the uranium, but they will. They totally stuffed up non-coiners.
Yeah, I guess that's totally true, really. I mean, you know, there is a way to, I guess, run as many points as you can. But, you know, a lot of people who don't coin anything aren't going to have the 50, 60, 70,000 uranium that it would take on a normal arena tournament week. You know what I mean? Just because, you know, if you do win a lot, I mean, when I win a lot on the arenas, I usually only cost me 50, 60,000, you know, for the whole tournament. And I spent that yesterday. You know what I mean? So
In some cases, yeah, that's true. But because the mid to lower players would know this arena is going to be on, they might save up their uranium from the weeklies and not retro so many big things and retro the cheap things to save that 57,000 uranium. I know a couple of our guys did that, and then when the arena started, they were like, "Oh, what?" You know, because I mean, even me, I filled right up on dredges before the arena, and then when it was announced the changes, I was like, "Oh, well, that was just a waste."
I don't like the fact they've had the coin factor, but I like the fact of the whole double experience thing for using uranium. I think that's a good idea. It just needs some tweaking so you still get the you know, the uranium back.
Or make it cheaper.
Yeah. I do think the whole double experience thing. I don't really like. Even though I have been using the coin in my fleet to get the double points, it's not really, you know, beneficial for the majority anyway.
yeah, well, what I think on that is that I think they kind of decided to add this whole coin fest for this weekend as well as the rest of them, and then went, you know what, people are probably going to be pissed. Well, let's at least give them a little something like double EXP. You know, I think that was kind of an afterthought just because they realized how bad that it was going to upset people if they did this, and especially since this week we were a day late getting the update, so we were a day late in preparation for all this, a day late for all the changes, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think they just kind of did that last minute half-ass to go, let's give them a little something that we don't really care about if they have or not, you know?
Well, someone in my line, someone in my line says not a lot. He's basically designed a fleet for the way the arena was, with obviously the free repairs and, you know, cheap uranium, and then they changed it so he can't use that fleet because it will cost too much.
I mean, that might be part of why they did it too, you know? They got all these people building these crazy fleets that are just, you know, that are for the arena only, and they realized how much money they could make off these people having to coin these ridiculous fleets. Like, you know, I mean, we've all seen them in there, like, you know, Grim Shines with 4 proto-masts and stuff like that. I mean, that's not a cheap fleet to fix, you know what I mean? But if you're doing it free for uranium, you can run it all weekend and have fun with your big fleet that you don't have to coin, you know?
And I suppose the way they're thinking about it, making money wise, I mean, they've extended the how long you can get your dredges for. So people that aren't going to be doing the arenas necessarily will be hitting dredges, maybe coining retros. It's more a money thing than anything.
Always is, man. Always is.
Yep. In the end of the day, that's what it's come down to, because I don't see anything really given there in the changes for free. Except the extra points, like you said, Chris. But really, the extra points for everybody, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you know, it's just, you know, it's something else backwards, like the way they were doing the brackets, like we were talking about before the show. You know, I went to bed in 34th place and woke up in 3rd, and it's just because instead of filling the brackets in the correct order, like the guy with the most points is in 1st place, they fill them from the bottom to the top. You know what I mean? So it's like the first person in is number 250. They're not the first person. They're not in 1st place because they're the first person to score points. They're last because they're the first person to score points. So that's just completely inherently backward. We had this problem last time with people who didn't have a completely full bracket, and people didn't get prizes because the bracket wasn't full. Whose fault is that? You know?
Yep. I have a little theory on that. I wonder if they're trying to mess with our heads a little bit and not, because a few people said they take it easy on the first day to just see how their bracket's going. And by doing it this way, you can't really tell how you're going until the bracket's pretty full.
What do you think? What do you think about all the changes to the arena would?
I'm sorry, Scotty. What did you say, Scotty? We didn't hear you, bud.
I said, what did Warden and Medusa think to the changes?
Well, I don't really do the arena that much. I just fill the free slots with the uranium and just hit it 2 or 3 times a day during doing that. Just plot along with that side of it.
This, to be honest, is the first time that I've actually really done it, so before just put me off with the amount of uranium and stuff, so first time for me.
See, normally I'd tell people to do it just for the 50 wins with the Grease Monkeys when it was, you know, free for pretty much cheap uranium and that, but no, it's not worth it because now you're losing.
Yeah, the only reason I actually went on it today was for the show really, to see more what it's about. So for me, this is not one of my strong points.
Yeah, the arena sometimes gets frustrating to play too. You know, it's like I was looking at my bracket, and one person has like a 30-something kill streak, and the next biggest kill streak I saw was mine, which was 6. I mean, granted, that's only after a day, but I realize what that is because I get a nice run of 3, 4, 5 people, and it's like, oops, there's a sub runner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one guy with subs that sees you have a Frosty in your fleet, so he hauls ass to the corner. You know, like, come on. If you're going to run subs, realize that people have anti-subs. You know what I mean? I realize that my Frosty, if you drive right, you can probably kill it if you try and you do, you do your job well. So try. Don't run. You know, what's the point of getting in the arena and running around? You don't get points for not doing damage. So you just essentially wasted everybody's time. At least if you're going to lose, you can try to do a little bit of damage and get a couple points out of it and go on to the next one. You know, who wants to sit around and do something and just stare at the screen and not get anything accomplished? You know, so that kind of tends to distract me from playing it too. You know, I get a couple sub runners in a row and I'm like, oh, to hell with it. I'm going to go find a base to hit or something, you know?
I did 4 on it today, and all 4 of them was gunboats. And then I went up against the, I think it was a Hound fleet, and just got wiped out.
What are you driving in the arena, Warden?
I was using Vindictor's R10 with Obelisk on.
Yeah, I've been using the same fleet that I always use in the arena. The first arena tournament, I won 3 Warbirds, and I stick them with a Frosty. And that's just my arena fleet. Sometimes I'll use Crusaders, but I find I have better luck with the Warbirds because they've got a couple torpedo slots in them, too.
I've been using something with overload and subs, so that works out really quite well for me. Either four subs and a Grimshine. That works nicely.
Yeah, I've come up against a few of them. I've come against a few using a bullseye crew as well.
I find the sub and the Grimshine works good, but I also find, for me, like for this week, I'm actually home from work this week, so I find I get on different time of days that you come up against different type of people's gameplay. So I've actually changed them around because sometimes I find the subs don't work as well in the afternoon because everyone's using anti-subs and thermal. But then I find I change the subs for my Atlas, and it actually works good against their anti-subs. And I just wanted to check with you, Chris. The kill streak in this one is a bit different than the previous ones. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, it's different in the fact that you don't get as many bonus points or something. Because I mean,
no, you only get kill streaks if you don't use uranium.
Oh, okay.
If you're using uranium, you could have 10 kill streak and it will not come up. You do not get the bonus for the kill streak. It won't register. Like I had my first match, and I had 1, and it was a free one because of the free one at the start of the tournament, and I had a kill streak of 1. And then I played again and won, and my kill streak went from 1 to 0 because I used uranium. And I checked with Kixeye, and it is because if you use uranium, the kill streak does not count. You do not get a kill streak.
Back and forth. You know, because I mean, I want to get some double points, so I've been coining a little bit with basically the ones where I don't get too much damage. You know, I don't mind coining, you know.
Or you're about to go to bed and you know you got no repairs going on, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll blow through a few fleets doing coin stuff, and then just my main fleet I've been basically using uranium, the Warbird fleet. But I've been mainly using uranium to keep that alive because that's my consistent fleet. But you know, when I'm playing around with other fleets, I'm usually just throwing them in there, and then if I forget to do uranium insurance, then you know.
Yeah. See, I've been using it. I mean, I've been coining my pairs for the points, but I've been using like a mixed fleet across the board. I mean, I've got a Scarab Atlas, Protomast, Nighthawk, a Frosty, and a Crusader. And I mean, I had a few Scullies that I'd rolled anyway, so I was using them. And that thing's been tearing it up. I mean, I was using it with bullseye to start with, and that thing, if you drive it right, it's been tearing it up. Because I got beat ups on the Nighthawk as well. If I go up against any interceptors or BCs, I can range them anyway, so the thermal doesn't see me.
I'm trying to get the YouTube chat on my other screen. Can one of you guys post me a link over on chat, please? Sorry to take away from the show to ask for things, but whatever.
Actually, I think I got a picture of the new hall. Yeah, I have. There it is. Yeah, let me just put this up. See what anyone thinks of the new hall. So after these, just screen share.
Well, I actually got a good few points on the new hole. I mean, for me personally, and for anybody else in the same situation as me.
Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Right there. Can you see the new hall? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what's everybody think of that?
I think it's pretty handy, especially for some players. Maybe some players might say it's not any better if the ones that got two frosties and that. But what I like about it is the fact that you don't have to have it as a flagship.
Yeah, I was liking that. You just use it for the field effect.
And in my case, I've actually got 3 fleets. Remember when we went from 17 something K in our shipyard dock or whatever, up to 27K, and it went up to 31K. I've still got 3 ships that have got 4,000 space on weight because I never got around to refitting them. 2 Hellstrikes and an MCX. If I put this in with them, because of the defense buff that it gets from the 40%, 40%, it'll actually make my Hellstrikes even stronger. Plus, you get the bonus of it kills some of the fire effect, which will make my Hellstrikes and MCXs even stronger.
See, what I was kind of thinking about this is because it's got this anti-mortar range of 60. I know it's not going to shoot them down all of them, but that would help against the Apocalypse mortars. And because you don't have to have it as your flagship, you can get the frosty effect. You can get the frosty flagship effect as well as shooting down as many mortars as you can.
Yep. It's got a lot of versatility there on defense. It's not that brilliant on offense, but like I said, if you put it in gaps with other boats that are offensive, it actually will help.
Because I could theoretically drop this in with if I don't do antis, drop one of my Hellhounds out in my Grim Hellhound fleet, and try and drop this into it with antis on, and then I've got the Frostburn Firefield effect, the Grim, and 3 Howls with mortars on. So.
And because you're using it more of as a defense thing to add defense to your fleet, you could add that special that increases your countermeasures.
Yeah. The countermeasure loader.
Because you're not worried about offense, you're using it as defense, so you're not worrying about solid fuel booster or anything like that, or reloader or whatever, because you're using it as a defense. So you just got to get the speed up to actually the rest of your fleet and put countermeasures and just try to give it some protection so it lasts for a decent while.
Yeah, but just remember, with an all countermeasure ship, it's gonna there's like no range to it, so it causes a little driving issue. Sometimes you gotta drive the whole fleet. It kind of limits your.
Well, that's only if you click on buildings. If you click on water, it's not a matter. But you can always put one weapon on it, like just one weapon, just to match the range of the others.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I mean, you gotta watch, driving it. You can't just drive it like a normal fleet, because if it's just antis, you are gonna have some kind of a problem. So you're gonna have to adjust your driving a little bit.
See, one thing I was going to think of using this for is because I've got a fleet of Kudas, and I think Earth's got them as well, where it's 4 Kuda Deluge and a Grimwrath, and I use them to take out people's sub protection. And if I dropped one of these in as well, then I could sit this behind my because the Grimwrath has to take damage for it to do to go into overload. I can drop it just in the field, so it won't take as much damage from the mortars. It won't be taking the extra fire.
I would love to see it in a fleet setup, and I'll have to go on the Huggies and maybe. Oh no, that won't show it. Dickhead. Actually see how far it gets up some people's fleets in there. That's 40%. That's a lot. Really, that is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking. I've got like the Nova fleet. The Dante Nova fleet. Like, then that's a pretty tough fleet. an extra 40% damage buff to all of that, or pull a Hellhound out of a Wrath Hound fleet and give Hounds 40% extra damage. I mean,
One thing we're
that's a lot. That is a lot.
One thing we're not thinking about as well is its 80 thermal. The fact that it's got 80 thermal on it doesn't have to be a flagship, and it gives the fire field extinguish effect. You can drop
That's
this
my whole
in,
point.
You could drop this in, say people that are running
My MCXs, my Hell Strikes,
or Grim subs, and then drop one of these in. For example, for actual fleet purposes. So you can actually have the effect of a Frostburn, but still have your key main flagship in there with it as well, like your Grimwrath or your Grim or your Highlander or something. Because you could theoretically, for dredges, for example, you could put in your Highlander for the radioactive defense, and then one of these for the field to take out the fire.
Or imagine one of them with, I think most people, I don't really do it. This is not me, but I'm thinking of other people as well. You know how people use a Jug X as just a ramming thing. If you put this with the Jug X and put some Mastodons at the back, your Jug X will be this would be taking the fire, but because this has the fire effect, it would be reducing it, so your Jug X will last longer.
Yeah, this hull's got a bunch of different uses. I mean, and the obvious, if you can actually get a couple of them to build in different ways, everybody's got like the Naked V2 or Viper Spotter in their base. Well, you just got the biggest range yet with this one, so this has the best sonar yet, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully, if I can get a couple, one of them is going on my base. That way, I don't have to get rid of my Wrath to get some, It's basically got flagship power, and it's on a flagship. So, I mean, my Wrath is like the center point of my base at this point. It stops damn near everything that actually gets that far. But yeah, that's going to be a nice addition.
I think I'm going to have to rethink my Wrath.
I mean, and you can even offhand, I can't think of it to be honest, but I know I'd have to look at my game. Like people like the things like the vanguards and that, but they worry about the defense of it surviving. You put this in there because you don't have to put it as a flagship. You get your vanguard suddenly gets 40% defense on missiles, ballistics, explosion, and that.
Yeah, I mean, I was also thinking, I've got those 3 warbirds, and I do have one of the monarchs. Put the right what do you call them? The right modules. I'm sorry. Put the right module to give you some damage protection on the monarch, and run of these on top of it. I mean, you've got to, you've had so much damage protection, it's going to be just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really wanted to, I mean, if you had them anyway, you could always run Crow Death Drives on these as well. For a fleet purpose. They had combat speed anyway. And you've got 80 thermal, you've got more armor on this than you do on a Viper.
Yeah, a fleet of them would be nice to see running around. That would be pretty cool.
I just need to win a Wrath.
Yeah. Not that I'm overly worried about it because I won't win probably more than one of them, but I was wondering, and I'm not an expert on this, I'm assuming the bonus doesn't stack up the more you have, it doesn't mean the more you get, correct or incorrect?
What, you mean the 40% damage? Like if you have 2 in a fleet, does it turn into 80% damage? No, I wouldn't think it does.
No, I think
or increases.
I think it caps.
Yeah, it's got a cap somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
But does it cap at 40, or would you actually get a bonus if you had 2?
I believe it'd cap at 40. I mean, same as like having 2 monarchs in with the same.
Right.
The same
so there's probably no really benefit in having more than one in a fleet.
No, I think it's more. I think it's more for the bonus. I think it's more just nice to have one in there for the bonuses and extinguishing the napalms and that new pyroclast turret and stuff. Or even just dropping one in your base as a sub protection.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Replacing your thermal or your your V2 spotters and your Viper spotters and all that stuff because it's got the better thermal range.
And it's got slightly better armor point as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, that one. And the way you'd have that set up, then because you're doing it pretty light, you could slip it into other fleets just now and then when you think you need them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, do heavy armor and like one long range missile is like a mastodon or a proto mastodon spotter with sub protection. That way you've got long range. So as soon as the long thermal catches it, you got a proto mass firing at it. That's kind of my plan for my base anyway.
Well, let's put the new all in the monthly raid or anything. I won't be getting one anytime soon. So
I'm actually just looking. I'm actually just looking for the ship again. I just want to check something. I'm pretty sure it's not a case, but I was trying to find the ship to look at something, but can't find it again. I'm pretty sure it only affects ships, doesn't it? The bonus. Yeah.
With the damage protection, yeah, it's only gonna it's a field like the Frosty. I'm thinking because it says it's got a field, something that's gonna look something like a Frosty field, and if you're in that field, you're gonna get the bonus. I don't think it's gonna be like
and it extinguishes a fire as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not going to be like a Highlander, like, well, it's in the fleet, so I can go hide it in the corner and get my damage protection. You're going to have to be in the bubble. It's going to have to survive to protect the rest of your fleet. Which is why I liked it the other way with 4 weapons and 6 armors, because that would have been, a great tank to keep around in a fleet, But, some of the fleets that we're going to be putting these with are going to have way more armor than the ship that's protecting them with, the fire field and the damage protection. So that's going to be a little difficult to deal with. Usually your Frosty stays in front and takes most of the damage because it's the strongest ship. This time, the ship's got the best damage protection, but it's not going to be the strongest ship in the fleet. So it's going to be like maybe, maybe a driving thing where you got to learn how to drive it behind instead of driving it in front like a Frosty, So it's just going to be something we got to wait to see how it handles per se,
But even if it didn't survive the whole battle,
the ship to share.
Even if it didn't survive the whole battle, hitting a base, if it got you far enough in, because it would give you that 45% against oh shit, I forgot what's those ballistic torrents and that with the long range.
Yeah.
And the missiles on it, it gives you the good protection. So it'll help you get your rest of your fleet, even if it does die off. But it'll help protect your fleet and survive longer to get into the middle.
Yeah, definitely.
I was actually hoping, I didn't even think about it until I just had a crazy idea, but it's probably wishing too much. It's a shame it doesn't affect torrents as well.
What, affect the turrets? Like make the turrets weaker or give them damage protection, or like who?
No. If you had, you said you want to put one in your base. If you gave your torrents 40%, ballistic 40%.
Yeah, that would be nuts. But I think I think you probably just gave Kicksai an idea now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that evens up the. How quite often there's conversations in different. And all my time of watching these shows and that, people say how the offense it's unbalanced between the offense and defense. It's harder to defend your base than what it is to attack a base. That would actually balance it out, in my opinion.
Oh no, I think we are getting, if you're talking top end tech and stuff, I mean, there's always a balance in the game of, top end and regular players and that kind of thing. But if you're looking at top end tech everywhere, like, it's getting a lot easier to defend your base. There was a while there that there was like, damn near nothing you could do to keep somebody out of your base. But now, like, my output is back like maybe twice in the past month, And I mean, it's actually getting kind of fun because I mean, I'm finding myself failing in bases here lately sometimes, and like that usually didn't happen before. So it's actually making it more fun. It's more of a challenge now. You know, you can actually sit back and be like, this guy will never get in with that fleet, ha. You know, because you can defend your base now, and it actually is a lot more of a challenge to get into them now, I think. So.
Yeah, I've just linked this for me to share about the field. Somebody's asked some questions and Dubridge answered them best way he can. Does the Aegis friendly field affect itself, giving the boost 30% defense stats? Does the Aegis trigger reconnaissance battery on itself? Does it stack with more than one Aegis? Basically, all the different things we've been asking, stacking with the Highlander buff, and this is what Doom said back. The field effect from the Aegis is similar to the tactical module that you can equip to ships. It will appear around the ship like traditional tactical modules, but does not trigger the reconnaissance battery, the resonance battery. The field will stack following to the same mechanics of the other module fields. These bonuses, with all of the above mentioned, defense boots and diminishing returns, so it's that whole, it will stack with diminishing returns. Does the field does affect ships itself, does affect the ship itself and will affect other ships within the fleet similarly. He said, hope this helped. So
that last bit's got me interested.
That bit there.
Yeah. Am I reading that right? It affects itself. So not only do you get the boost that it's got naturally, you get an extra 40%?
I think it's diminishing returns from what Earth was just saying to me.
I understand that, but does that mean it will go up? It will actually go up?
The way it's reading here, I believe so, but just not the full amount.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Per Kixeye math, then yeah, it will go up, but it's going to go up like normal Kixeye math, It's going to be like adding, heavy plating onto your ship or something,
Yep. Well, I can't see me getting more than one anyway, but it's just nice to know.
Right.
Hey.
It will go up, but it's like everything else. So basically, what they're saying is that if you add 40% special onto your hull, you obviously don't get a straight 40%. It doesn't just add on. It works from multiplicative maths. So you do get a diminishing return. It's 40% of whatever's left. So after you've added your first Aegis, it does stack, but it stacks in the same way, so it will give you 40% of whatever's left in the fleet. And it does affect itself as well, so those base stats that it's got, the field of effect will affect the ship itself as well. So it'll have, it's got base stats of, what's it got on there, like 30% or something like that. So it'll add the 40% onto that, or whatever, however much it is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, base that's the 30%, and then 40% added.
So it'll have 40%. So it'll be effectively like adding sort of like MC3 on there, or something like that. Or well, pretty much, near enough going to be like the same as heavy plating to the ship itself, and the same to all of the rest of the fleet as well, without starting to add anything else on the rest of the fleet. So I just thought I'd come on and clarify that for you, but I am going back away again. So
thanks.
All right, I just thought I'd jump on and say.
No problem.
No worries. That's good to know. It's good to know.
He does the brainy stuff. We break bases and boats.
Yeah, well, I do that as well, but.
Just not very well.
Here's the brainy stuff.
Oh yeah, all right. Alright, anyway, thanks very much, guys. So I should catch you all later.
So,
I'll enjoy trolling you in comm still.
Yeah, smooches, buddy. Have fun. Okay,
That
next.
just that still makes it encouraging.
Yeah, no, I do like that. I mean, I didn't, we were talking about it earlier, but, having a couple of those in a fleet might be a pretty tough little fleet.
What it also does, depending on your fleet, if you've got decent hull to go with it, because it adds to its own bonus and gives things, it will last longer. But it also might make you think about what specials you want to put on the other boats, because, like Earth said, it's like adding what was that other thing to it. So you might not add that to it, and you might add something else to the hull because that's already it's like another special slot.
Right, like it's like what is it, that rocket reload special? You know what I'm talking about? If you put it on the
Yep.
Hells before they were retrofitted, now it's kind of a useless useless drag of weight because they can only load so fast. That's the same kind of theory, I think, Wayne. Like we can only
Yep.
get so much damage protection, so why throw an extra special away when we've already got the percentages sitting there as long as we don't have the special. So yeah, no,
Exactly. So if you have this, you might take off heavy plating and put something else on. Put on that one that gives you torrent defense or something. And
yeah, or the fire field, or the well, not the fire field defense, but the attack field defense or whatever, that new special that came out.
Yep.
So when you're cruising through a base full of apocalypse morts, the fire's not going to kill you either.
so this will make me look at changing one.
Sorry, I just wondering what do Medusa and Wouldn't Think About It Dark is very quiet tonight. It's unlike Medusa.
I'm just inspired by the ship, but I know I'm not going to get it, so unless they put it in the monthly raid, then it's out of my range.
Well, I mean, if you've got the uranium to blow through it, you might as well sit there, because you don't have to win to get points. You get points based on what damage you do. So, if you can at least take a chunk out, and you're in a decent bracket, I mean, to get one, you have to get, 65th place or something?
64th, I think it is.
Yeah, and usually, like, if you look at it, the last from like 150 to 250 in a lot of brackets have like 100 points or 200 points. It's people who jumped in, played a little bit, and said, screw this, I'm done. You know what I mean? So in some brackets, and you got to look, some brackets they're not as tough as other ones. So you might get lucky and throw a little uranium at it and see if you can get some points.
You get any interest to getting it Medusa?
Definitely, I want it in my base defense with my gollies. I think that would really rock. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course we can.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Of course, the lady has the last word.
One thing I was thinking to use it for is seeing these Nova storms and hellhounds with big splash. If you can position one of these right in your base, it will cancel the splash, the incendiary shell splash, because it will cancel out the fire field.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That would absolutely rock. And I think, like you said earlier, I think it'd be great if I can get two to go with a mast fleet, like you said. I think that I'd be a happy bunny with that. So I'm trying. We'll just have to see how I do.
Yeah, with that idea though, Medusa, you got to remember that you're only gonna get, it's like attack field, so you're only gonna get the bonus when you're in the circle. So if you have one of the Aegis to run with your spotter to defend it, and then you can keep one with your mastodons to defend those, because they have to be in the tactical field circle to get the bonuses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to do it in a mastodon fleet, you would need to keep.
But you could always have a frosty in front and an Aegis at back.
Yeah, that would work too.
Yeah.
The one that unfortunately, and I'm going to say this with a pinch of salt because I know it's going to be hard. Somebody like Warden said he doesn't know if he can do it. The mid-range to long range, if they happen to be in a lucky bracket, and unfortunately sometimes it's a luck of the draw which bracket you're in, whether how easy it is to get one. This would be also great for anybody that gets it in the mid-range to do things like the weekly, do campaigns, because for example, 40% ballistic and missile protection and explosion against the weekly raid would save them so much repair time.
Yeah, a fleet doing 55s is all of a sudden a fleet doing 65s just from
Exactly.
adding that 40% bonus. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
And
this is
drag bases?
definitely.
I'm actually just logging into me BP now because I've not been on it tonight since I've been home from work, so I'm going to see where I actually am in the arena at the moment.
Slacker.
I'd definitely give it a shot. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up? We've talked quite a bit about the arena.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be asking for help with uranium.
Yeah, what do you think about the extending the dredges as well?
Well, honestly, in the end of the day, at first I thought it was great, but initially, then I thought I clearly got the impression linked with the arena, it's just a money grabbing. But don't get me wrong, it's going to benefit some people greatly, especially if you're in a good alliance. Like I was lucky, I've actually got 2 guys in my alliance actually prepped some dredges, so I got free uranium.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, anytime they let you just get as much uranium as you want all weekend, it's going to be a good thing, you know. Like I said, I've had Hell Strikes built and unretroed for a while just because R5 was expensive and I really didn't feel like spending 100 grand. But this is going to give me a chance to do that, you know, because I can just go out and do it and fill it back up and not worry about it. So.
It wasn't me, Earth. It was Chris.
There's a.
It's always somebody. Terrible.
There was just a comment going up in the chat. Has anyone come against the house star yet?
In my world, there was a battle between 2 whole stars, which I don't know if anybody's seen the video.
No, I don't think I have.
Not yet. I'll have to look.
I know one of our guys has come to house star a couple of times last night, and he said it's evil to fight. It's like fighting 7 ships at once.
Yeah, they're not nice.
He said if you got subs.
From that video that I saw the Hellstar versus Hellstar, the respawn rate on the drone ships was insane. It was like once they died, it was like poof, 2 more. Like there was no lag in him. I guess teleporting in new ships or whatever it does, but it was like they were just shooting ships at each other like weapons back and forth for a while. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't last very long, I must admit, the video. They killed each other pretty quick, which is quite amazing, really, considering. But yeah, it's a good bit of fun.
Is the link to that video in the crib?
It isn't, but I shall put it in there in a minute.
Okie dokie.
Does everyone know if you are actually coining the repairs and you don't take 25% damage, then your ships are repaired and you come out?
Sorry, mate?
Did you know that if you don't take 25, if you're coining your repairs and you automatically get 25% of your fleet repaired, so if you drive right and don't take 25% damage, you'll come out at full health.
That's correct.
Yeah. But I think, really, I mean, all they've really done is, with the fact that if you don't use the uranium repair and you don't, and obviously you're supposed to be coining the repairs, what's stopping people with subs running around with rockets and just running for the entire battle? It's just encouraging that more than anything, I think, which is the worst part of the arena in the first place. So
yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I say, I'll do it just to get the ships. But I mean, like I say, because I've had so many squaddy crews, it's been quite cheap repair wise for me. I mean, a couple of coin here, like it's either been free or it's been between like 2 and 3 coin most of the time. Unless if I really screw up, so it's been different. It's been alright for me, but if you haven't got the fleet to back it up, it can become quite pricey.
yeah, it can.
I mean, a few people might have seen Santana's picture.
I think it was it was a mistake for them to get rid of the payback on the uranium insurance. Really, I think it's put a lot of people off this time.
Well, like I said, I started a day late, and normally the bracket's full. And
yeah.
I don't think my bracket's quite full now. I mean, I still had 3 spots left. Boy, come on now.
But it's like Warden said, you know, as a lower level player, it's hard enough for him to get uranium in the first place, never mind the amount that they want you to spend in order to get the ship. So, you know, it's really just turning it into another big boys playground again, isn't it?
Coiners Fest.
Yeah, it's, you know, at least please Kickside, at least leave something for the non-coiners that they can do.
He who coins wins.
Yeah, it is a case of that, but you know, you've got to give a bit. You know, at the minute it feels like they're trying to milk us for everything. And
would have been nice if they reduced the uranium needed to do the uranium protection. If they reduced it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a reasonable price, then yeah, but it's not, is it? So it's going to cost a lot, especially. I mean, I'm in my group on like 56th. I've only got 38 wins, but you know, on the top of the leaderboard in mine is, so I've got not very many points. The top of mine's got 64,000 points, and I'm in 56.
Talking about that, I wonder if anybody else has come across this. I've been finding, I use my fleet, I go into the arena, I have a battle, and then I click on the thing, go to the arena or whatever to start another one, to go again. And then when I click on the same fleet spot, it says unavailable.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
you've got to wait until it flashes, because it docks itself, but it doesn't dock itself straight away. So,
the annoying thing about that is it chews up, if you've got a row crew on, it chews up so much time over the period.
It does, yeah.
See what's something that let me see what it was now. Where's it gone? Mickey, he said it'd be nice if they did half repairs for the arena, same way they did for raids.
I was actually just going to try to bring that up.
Because theoretically, it's kind of like another raid.
Well,
So
if they're going to expect it to beast uranium the way that they're doing it, then yeah, I agree. But personally, I think that they should just scrap the whole let's pay our uranium for insurance and not get any of it back crap, because it's just bullshit.
Well, let's face it, like people that are calling the repairs, like myself or like Santana, or I know obviously we're not calling them, but you know you could if you wanted to. And it's just, you know, double points every time we win. We could do, if we wanted to, we could do that all day long and nobody would catch us. I mean, I've got about a 23,000 point lead or something on second place, because I'm calling my repairs and getting double points. And if I get a win streak, I'm getting like 450 tournament points. It's like, you know, you can't catch that. It has made it more towards the coiners again.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me that is a coiner.
Well, I've just checked mine and I'm 77th in the bracket I'm in.
Get a few.
So you're not that far away from
in
64. You're not that far away, Warden, from 64. Have a look at what 64 and 63 is at, and see if you can keep up with them and catch them.
The only
Or do what I hate.
prize in mine is for the Viper,
Oh, right. You're in a different bracket.
which is the top 10, I think it is.
That sucks.
Bugger.
Yeah, rank 1 gets the Viper, get 1 hour, 1 day ship build token, and then 2 to 10 get the Viper. So I might just go for the 50 wins and get the Grease Monkeys.
Definitely, it's definitely worth it. Grease Monkeys. It's, you know, they're very rare to roll as well, so you know it's definitely worth it. Whenever they come up in any events and stuff like that, it's definitely worth to get them.
I haven't rolled one yet.
I mean, I am in line to get a 1 hour ship build token, which is rank 66 to 125, so that's not too bad.
I'm looking forward to actually getting the ship repair token. That one day repair token. I'm definitely going for that, because you know one of my ships is like a day repair, so it's basically a free repair for it.
I had a strange message come up earlier, and a free token. It was a research token. Wondered if anybody else had that too.
Were you on the arena when that happened? Because I think
No.
25 wins or something, you get some kind of a token.
Wasn't in the arena, but I think I was moving up the arena. You know, as more people come in, and I'm just wondering if it's related to that. But I wasn't actually in the arena at the time.
Yeah, no, I think the tokens for that you get with the arena are associated with wins.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I think you could. I think for I think I'm right. First place gets a ship build token. I'm not sure about the top 10. And then obviously the repair tokens for your ships from the wins.
Yeah, this was a research token, not a ship build token, which would have been nice. But I just think it's something to do with the arena, and I'm not quite sure what it is, or whether it's because I was moving up ranks slowly but surely, and they just gave it to me. I take it nobody else has had that.
Yeah, no, Tess is special, I guess. Nobody else has heard of that.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me.
Yeah. Give Tess free stuff. She likes it.
It's the first time ever that anything like that's happened, so I think it's got to be arena based. And I'm 57th.
Nice. It reminds me when I have a glitch and I openly send a message to Kickstarter. Of course, I waited a little bit, and they said they fixed it, but because I was worried I'd get in trouble, because I had a glitch where I was instantly getting rockets.
Like
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah, I had the same issue last arena. I sent a ticket in about it because I basically I went into a battle, used a rocket, and then come out and my rocket was still there. I could use the next battle.
Mine was a little bit different. Mine was I'd use the rocket, go and build it, and then I'd be waiting for it to build, and then when I go back out into the ocean and go into a battle, I'd say, hey, it's giving me a rocket.
I never remember to use them when I have them, so.
I was worried I was going to get in trouble for it with all the banning going on, so I openly sent them a text message explaining my concern and that.
You gave me free stuff, Kickside.
I've never had that such luck.
Actually, yeah, someone's just said it could be from when I was doing the weeklies and it was delayed, so that might explain.
That's what I was trying to say, Medusa. And I've had that before where I've done the weekly and nothing came up, and then I logged off and then logged back on, and then as I logged on, it's popped up, oh, you got the research token.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably what it was then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all I got was research tokens last week. I know I got some. I don't remember now.
I always like it when there's nothing to when there was nothing to unlock before the tokens, and then it says you got a prize.
Well, anyway, I got lucky with the
Joe got
simulation.
lit up when he said free stuff. Well, when he heard you say free stuff. I think we know what who Drogo wants free.
Oh, everybody wants free stuff now. Has anybody any questions for the panel?
All right.
Gotta wait a couple of seconds delay.
See, when nobody has questions, I just think we did our job extremely well. So I'm like, all right, good job, no questions.
Winners. I got a question for the panel. is there anything? Are you, or is there anything looking forward to the future of the monthly raids?
See, I've been enjoying the monthly raids a bit more because they've been changing it up.
That's why I'm asking, because I thought there's been a lot of changes lately, and I'm wondering how people have, finding it.
I think they've become with the Grease Monkey people they've been giving out. They've become a lot more affordable as well.
Yeah, you know,
And a lot more options too.
Yeah.
Like when they change things up, like when they go from Drake to Reaver and back and forth, you know, there's always a couple raids in the beginning that it's like ridiculous. Either that or it's super easy and we all rejoice, and then they make it ridiculous. So there's always some kind of adjustment that they go through, and I think we're kind of in the sweet spot now of this new Reaver faction, or this new version of the Reaver faction that we've had. But the only bad thing with that is now that we're in the sweet spot and they've got it all figured out, they've got the next faction planned, and you know these type of raids are probably not long for us. I'm kind of hoping they do keep the format around, even if they do change the cast and the characters per se.
See, I kind of hope they keep the Grease Monkeys going for people, because obviously that's helping out a lot. You know, they're giving them out in the campaigns and the arenas. You know, that's helping people more in the raid more so than anything.
Yeah, no, Scotty, you're definitely right with that. You know, anytime they can throw us a little bone and go, hey, I know you guys are going to be coining a bunch this weekend because it's raid time. Let's throw you a little, you know, you're already getting your half-speed repairs. We'll throw you a little something extra to help you out. I mean, that kind of stuff's cool, you know.
And the sector tour is quite interesting. So the way they bring in some of the old stuff back, like obviously D5B was in there for this one. I think the Apocalypse Mortal was in there for the last one. So that, you know, they bring out the sector tour that you can unlock to help you get older prizes.
I'm just glad it wasn't as long as last month, because we were getting bored in our alliance and after this one, so we went in bases towards the end. So
yeah, the last 7-day raid was a little rough, especially like sometimes when we do a hull store, right, and there's a lot of different boats and hulls available. You don't mind grinding so much because you've got a goal. You know, I still got to get this many points to try to get this, whatever. But with this one, it was like, okay, well, there's nothing in here. Why the hell am I even doing that? You know, like the last hull store was a little rough.
That was probably one of the things I disliked, was the fact that they restricted us back to because I remember it used to be, and then they stopped it, where you can only get 2 per tier.
Yeah.
I like it when they don't do that. I like when they don't do that because it gives you something to keep grinding away, because, oh, I'll get that one as well. Oh, I'll get that as well because that will eliminate that off the weekly raid, or that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, for them to limit the amount of prizes that you can get per tier and then extend the raid for like 3 or 4 days, it's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why extend the raid? We can only get, I mean, even though there's more available prizes, we can only get the same amount of prizes we got last month. Why do we need 3 more days to get them? You know, so I think that's kind of what happened in your case.
You have been caught out with that.
You're not the only one. A couple of our alliance members got caught out with that. They didn't realise.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Right, is that it? Is that everything? We're getting close to the end now. I think we've covered everything we can about the arena and the raid. You know, the raid changes. Is there anything else anyone wants to quickly add the last couple of minutes before we?
Hang on, I think we've got a question. From Daz. What does the panel think about the total amount of content coming out? Is that killing it as older ships die off fast?
Well, you know, Kixeye has said a lot of times in different mediums that they don't intend for everybody to have every boat. Like, that's just not their intention. You know what I mean? And that's I guess their excuse for all this stuff coming out. But I mean, you know, it's the new weapons that make the ships kind of imbalanced. You know what I mean? Like, you can take an old hull and refit it with new armor, retrofit it, new tech and stuff like that, and it's still a good hull. Hell, I've got a Berserker fleet that I still hit a lot of, you know, pretty decent bases with. You know, it's just about You know, adding a little bit of the new stuff in it to keeping them alive. You know, you gotta what you
House
like.
strikes. House strikes are a rocket ship, but they really wanted a launcher ship.
And some of the content, like we're talking about this new hull that's coming in the arena, if you put that with some of those old techs, it actually gives the old tech even more boost because it'll actually improve them.
Well, that's the same as like I've said before with the Frostburn. You don't need to fully load it with weapons and rank it up. You can quite easily just build it with armor and specials and use it for its effect.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Use
like
your dredges and put out fire fields. You don't have to, have it fully scored up with weapons on to do damage.
yeah, like I can't bother to get rid of my old DNX fleet. I love it. You know, it still does plenty of damage. You know, it hails a butt ton of mortars. It just doesn't live long enough. Well,
Yeah.
now it's got 40% damage protection. I might be able to hit bases with my DNX, even if it's purely for a nostalgic reason.
I'm
know?
the same. My Hell Strikes used to do the bases, but then when new tech came in and all that, they started not doing the bases. Now, I've still got that 4K that I didn't retrofit when the dock went up from 27 to 31. I can build this and put it in with my Hell Strikes, and not only will it debuff some of the new tech fire from the mortars, it also gives my fleets extra bonuses.
Yeah. Yeah, throw some throwers on it because you've got the extra splash and stuff like that that comes with the Hell Strike. You know, modernize the weapons on it and throw this new little defensive ship in there to get the stats up, and it's going to be a monster hull again. You know, sometimes things don't go away. Sometimes they just get put on the back burner in order to come back. You know what I mean?
Or they just change direction.
Yeah, exactly. Just because it's not useful right this second doesn't mean it's not gonna be. You know?
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely think they are bringing out content quick and rapidly. But I do think it's again, you got to pick and choose what you want. You don't have to have everything. You got to pick what's right for you and how you play. And if anything, more so than the ships that come out, I'd say get the weapons. Like you said, you could miss out on say Hellhounds, for example. You could miss out on them and just get the throwers and put them on something else.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
even going back to the Hell Strikes, an R10 Hell Strike's a tough, it's a very tough, fast hull. Well, it's a perfect hull for throwers. It's it's just the new rush weapon. So put it on something older and have fun with it.
He also asks a question for you, Chosen One. Do you think the older fleets would hit 50% in your base with one of the new ships, Aegis?
Not in a one shot, but if you prepped my base, then yeah. It's like I've hit bases that my ships couldn't one shot, and I've used a couple of different kind of fleets to prep them out. And like Payne, you've seen Payne hit the high end bases. A lot of them bases, he's prepped out ships or he's prepped out turrets, and then hit with mastodons, which they shouldn't really normally be able to hit with mastodons. You use the time to prep, which is what Payne would say. You don't have to one hit every base.
Yep, totally agree.
That's my problem, that I don't usually prep. I just hit the base and let it go, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm like ADD or something. I can't bother going to prep. I launch the fleet that I want to drive and send it to the base that I want to hit and hope it works out. Like, I mean, I hate to say it that way because I really should be like, oh yeah, you study them and you check them out and you do your best, but it's a game, I'm like, I want to drive that one and I want to hit that guy, and that's the end of it, A lot of times I lose and go, damn, I wish I would have brought this fleet instead, but I'm too lazy to be like, oh, I should have brought this fleet, turn around and set another one. It's not how I am.
No, that's your gameplay. You play it.
It works out for me pretty well.
Every time I try and prep, I always end up over prepping and doing them a bubble.
Yeah, are you going
That's where deluge missiles come in. Deluge missiles, you know, you don't have to, you know, as long as you're moving, they won't fire until you stop.
But see, I also think about, like, I'm kind of a do unto others guy, right? And I mean, you guys have your Reapers and do your thing. It's cool. It's your game or whatever. But when I have to sit there and like watch a 4-minute Reaper prep for them to kill a boat, and then I don't have time to do anything else but see my screen light up with your bases under attack again, and then there's another 4-minute Reaper prep for one more boat, and I'm like, I'm slamming my head in the keyboard going, it's 30 minutes into this hit. Just do something already. So, I mean, I know that aggravates me, so I'm not going to be the dude that ties up your base for 3 hours trying to hit it. If I can't get in, I can't.
See, I wasn't just going on about the using them on Reapers. I would watch them more towards using them on things like interceptors and stuff as well. I mean, I've got 100 range on my interceptor with Deluge now that I refit a few weeks back, and I can use them to prep out turrets, you know, certain turrets and stuff. I mean, I've used them to prep out people's Windigos and stuff, because taking them off Frosty and them and prep out with Windigos because they put them in the wrong place.
Yep, that works.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with prepping a base. I'm not saying, oh my God, you're killing me, you're prepping a base, but it's those times where, like I said, when the guy with the Reapers has to come in 5 or 6 times to try to prep the base is when I start getting like, oh, dude, come on, like I'm gonna go make a sandwich, I'm gonna take a nap, I'm gonna do anything but watch 10 more Reaper preps. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean.
I'm prepping a base, but Jesus, prep it and go. Like, don't take all afternoon to be like, oh, I'm gonna take,
Yeah.
you know, 3 shots at this turret and then I'm gonna run away, and then I'll come back and take 3 more shots at the turret and run away. Like, oh,
Yeah, but yeah, it's dedication, isn't it, really? To go in that many times, you really got to want that person's base.
People do the same thing with drones.
yeah. Like, dude, if you're gonna go in that many times, you're probably out of your league. Why don't you step down a few levels and work your way up to trying this? You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I know plenty of fleets that can get, well, not plenty of fleets that can get in, 'cause it doesn't happen very much in my base lately. But, you know, I know plenty of fleets that can do a damn good job of it, and you know, it doesn't matter if they've got 5 or 6 Reaper preps or not. They're pretty much going to get to the same place whether they've Reaper prepped me or not. You know?
Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up a bit here now because we've gone over 10. We're going over 10 minutes.
Awesome.
Right, but
Thanks all.
Enjoy the show, and we'll be back on Wednesday for the crib and give you updates and any changes that may be coming up, and then obviously the round table again on the Friday. But see you guys.
Cool. See you, mate.
Thank you.
Have fun.